Welcome to another episode of B Sharp and C, where we ask the audience to be sharp and see the things we want you to see. All right, enough of that. I'm keeping myself out. You know what I realized? By the way, this is Artie Astor, your host of B Sharp and C, the music podcast, where we get deep into the underrated, the underappreciated, the indie, and the up-and-coming. Yes, that's right, folks. That is what we do. We are the only podcast in Southeast United States, in Orlando, in my house, in this office, that does exactly just that. But enough. You know, I noticed something very, heartwarming or enlightening last night. I recorded an episode of B Sharp and C last night, okay? And I noticed that I just really feel comfortable talking to my fan base. And I know I do have a fan base. And then the podcast that I do with Gabe Aguilar, Song, where the streaming opinion of a nerd and a geek, where we go back and forth. I know that we have an audience. In fact, we're in like 16 countries now, which is just amazing. So I thank everyone for the support. It really is nice. But I want to admit, I recorded an episode last night and then deleted it. I feel like it's important for me to get that out there, that people that record podcasts put a lot of thought into what they're doing, and sometimes they think that something's just not right for the audience, and they don't release it, or they edit the crap out of it. They go in and they remove a whole entire 5-minute section because they realize it's just that they shouldn't be aired, you know. And what I have recently done, so I recorded the podcast last night, and then I noticed that I was so comfortable just talking to the audience, talking to you guys, that after 28 minutes, it sounded like a therapy sesh. I was going on about how much I hate social media, and don't even get me started on TikTok. The social media where it's almost like Facebook Watch, where absolutely almost everything you watch is staged or faked in one way or the other. And then, God forbid, you call someone out on their complete and total staged trick or these videos. It drives me nuts. I want to throw my phone against the wall when I'm going through Facebook Watch and I see some girl sleeping on the couch and two dudes sneak into the living room and give her a tattoo while she's sleeping. And then she wakes up and she sees them and she's like, "What did you do?" And she's laughing while she's doing it. Her makeup is perfectly unsmudged. She does not look like she was passed out drunk on the sofa all night. I hate that stuff. I don't know why. And the funny thing is, the people who make these videos are actually ingenious. Everyone comments that this is fake, right? Everyone comments this is fake. Well, Facebook doesn't recognize a good comment from a bad comment. All Facebook sees is that a ton of people are engaging with this video, and they get more watches, they get more followers. Next thing you know, they have a gigantic platform. Why? Because they put fake practical jokes on Facebook. But anyways, enough said about that. I want to talk about this band from France. I didn't do a ton of research about them. I have contacted them before. I actually noticed that they had great enthusiasm for music. They have a great ear. They write good music. And they have a singer with a beautiful voice who knows kind of where to take a song vocally. And that's important, you know, because if you write a song and it's in like 3 chords, let's just say C minor, F minor, and G, okay, like a common blues progression, and you have a singer and he or she does not know that they can sing the third, or maybe sing like a 3-2-1, like descendo, whatever it's called, like into the root note, or that they can do like runs, you know what I'm saying? So they kind of just like do monotone and kind of stay to the root notes. A lot of singers do that. This singer of this band, Ada, everything is in French. So singer is Chant. I think her name is Ada Magadi. The S at the end is supposed to be silent. So I literally have no idea how to pronounce this singer's name, but it's Aida for the first name and then Magadis for the last name. They have a great band, but the singer, Ada, really knows where to take certain things and how to use her voice when it comes to singing over the chord changes. I really like this song. So what band am I talking about? We should B Sharp and C, Reversing Karma. Yes, reversing karma. Now, this is going to be a short episode. I did an episode about an Italian singer. I think she was my first episode I ever did, right? What was her name? I can't think of her name. Cardinale, Charlotte Cardinale, right? And I wasn't able to make it a long episode because, quite honestly, her presence isn't that big just yet in the world scene, and maybe it never will be. It really depends on us, on you, on all of us, the listener, to get behind these new artists and show them some love, and honestly, talk about them, play their songs, share their videos, right? So this band, Reversing Karma, has 2 songs released right now. A song called Get Up, which is really nice. And my favorite song from them, by far, my favorite song from them, Trust. Now, why this band from France, who doesn't have a lot of, notoriety, doesn't have a lot of public, appearances or public optics, why am I taking this band and saying, wow, we need to listen to them. We need to be sharp and see what they're up to? Well, because in their 2 songs, they've exhibited excellent songwriting. Excellent songwriting. I'm not exaggerating. When I heard the song Trust and I heard what Ada could do with her voice, and then there's this one part where the song kicks in and she drops her voice down like an octave, and she does it gradually. She kind of goes down the scale, When I heard that, I was really beside myself with the control she has of her voice. Now, is she going to do that every time live? Well, no one does. If you've heard Adele sing live, you realize that, the singers are human. So, I don't want to say she's a machine, but she's excellent. And the band is excellent. It's moments like this. I look at this band and I say, my goodness, if these guys had come out in the 70s, they would have had Bob Ezrin all over them, probably, or some real hotshot music producer all over them. And working with them, what ends up happening is, a record label, it's like investing in the stock market to some degree. When they see a band that has great potential, they have to make that potential known, and then get behind it and sponsor the band and promote the band and what they're doing. I wish I had the funds to take a band like this and say, okay, either I come to France or you come to America and we work something out. You front them some money to live off for a while, and you create, you sign a record deal, and you come up with some songs for an album. I don't know what they're working on right now. Their website really doesn't say a lot of stuff. The song Trust has this weird feel to it, almost like it's Irish, or it's Irish indigenous, or you kind of get the feel. I mean, Irish indigenous, would that be Celtic, I guess? But when you listen to this music, you know that the structure of the music and the feel of where the song is going, you know that it's different, and you feel it. And then she starts singing, and you feel it. And it's the same thing with the song Get Up. It's more like a rock song, and she's singing, and it's more upbeat, get up, get up. And it sounds familiar. It sounds like something that we would have heard before. And one of the reasons why I believe that the song actually sounds very familiar is because they've tapped into that rock and roll. They've tapped into something special, and they're able to reproduce it in their songwriting and in their with whatever avenue they're using to record these songs. They're able to reproduce it in the studio. And it looks like they have a pretty good studio, because in some of these music videos, they're in a studio and you can see that the guy is recording the song. But now we don't know, is that the guy who filmed the music video? Is that his studio? We really don't know. All I know is that you have a band of young adults who have the ability and the capability to write good music and actually get it out there. What's missing is the production and the record label. And in 2021, that might be something that will be missing for a very long time. I really don't know how bands like this can get known. Absolutely, this is what drives me nuts. Absolutely everyone I send the song to writes back and says, wow, that song is amazing. That song is beautiful. Who are these guys? And I say, Reversing Karma. It's an indie group out of France. And then the conversation ends there. And then that person either listens to the song again, or they never listen to it again. Some people I've introduced the band to hear it and they say, wow, that's really good. But then they don't go back and listen to it again. They continue to listen to the music that they grew up with in the 80s and 90s. So we're not going to, like, people who grew up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and they love rock and roll. They love classic rock from the 60s and 70s. They love alternative. They like that 80s rock and 80s pop. You know, I don't, and this isn't a podcast where I call people out, okay? But they complain there's no good music out there. And then what they do is they hear a song from a brand new band and they say, oh my God, that's what's missing. But then they go back and they listen to the Eagles all day long while they work in the garage, right? They really like when a new band comes out and does something that reminds them of their youth, but then they go back and listen to the music of their youth. So I don't know what's missing. You know, are the singers of today not connecting with people of today? Are the older generation not willing to embrace the musicians of today? Do they think they're inexperienced? Do they not remember when they were 18, when they were 20? Did they have all the answers? Did the generation ahead of them think the same thing of them? I honestly don't know what it is. I can talk until I'm blue in the face, but this band, Reversing Karma, if they had come out in the 70s, I really believe some record label would be like, can we work with you guys? And they would sign them. And next thing you know, we would have an album produced by a professional record label or a record producer, right? But I don't see that happening right now with this band. I know they're working on stuff. They have an active Facebook page. I contacted them once too after I heard the song Trust. I was like, oh, these guys are really good. I contacted them. I asked them if they wanted to collaborate. They got back to me and they said, what do you have in mind? And I said, well, I would love to just give you a song, like write a song and give it to you and then let you guys do what you want to do. And they never replied. And why should they? I mean, I reach out to musicians all the time. I'm always reaching out to people saying, can we work together? You know, this, that, and the other thing. I think one of the things I said to this band, and maybe this is the reason why they didn't reply, I said, just keep the song. You know, I don't want any money at all. Keep the song. It's your song. Keep it. But if there's any way I can be mentioned in the writer's credits, but even though I don't want any share of the writer's credits, just mention that I somehow helped you. I wrote the song again, because I'm trying to network as well. So if they come out with a song and they release it, then, you know, if my name is attached to it, even though you know, and I can promise you that these songs that these guys have, Trust and Get Up, I can promise you that they probably haven't made much money either. They're probably the only way they're probably making money off of these songs is when they get paid to play a gig and they play these songs live. So sometimes when you reach out to someone and you mention like, hey, I don't want money, when money is mentioned in the beginning before there's any other transaction that takes place or any other interchange or interaction, sometimes people just say, nah, whatever, you know. But like what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to establish myself as a songwriter, and I want to collaborate with people, but I want to pave the way for the next gig. I want to pave the way for Artie to continue to make inroads into the music world so I can be a writer. But I never take offense to any of this stuff because I understand how crazy the music world is and people are getting pulled in every direction, you know. So what I would say to you, why am I doing this episode of B Sharp and C, and why am I talking about Reversing Karma, this band from France that only has 2 songs released and there's no real news as to what's happening with them? Because this music exists. Good rock and roll is being written. It's just not being promoted. It's not being picked up by record labels, and it's not being, you know, disseminated amongst the masses. Or, you know, I forget the word when you pass something out, right? It's not being distributed amongst the masses. And this band, I firmly believe, if they had, you know, the opportunity and the proper sponsorship, I believe would make some excellent music. I don't want to say my advice to them, but what I would say to them right now is, you've made 2 good songs, okay? Keep writing. Don't stop. Keep writing, keep working on the quality of your songs, keep improving, and get stuff out. Now, with a band, you always have personalities, and I think there's like 5 people in the band or whatever. Maybe they're working things out amongst themselves as to how things are going to be moving forward. I don't know. But I would like to say to my listeners, go to YouTube, look up Reversing Karma, listen to these 2 songs, especially listen to the song Trust, and just the overall feel, the overall structure of the song. you won't be disappointed. And I've been waiting now for quite a while. I think like a year and a half now. I've been waiting for them to release another song because they've only released 2 songs and I like both of them. I'm hoping that they're continuing to write, and I'm hoping that they release something soon. And I do hope that the band Reversing Karma someday becomes a household name. Anyways, this is Artie Astor from B Sharp and C. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye.